Welcome back to the CAA Women's Basketball Insider, where we are pleased, as always, to be joined by Monika Moore. Monika, we talked last week about some tough tests that awaited the top two teams in the standings, North Carolina A&T and Drexel. And I'd say both of them passed with flying colors. Let's start with the Dragons, who went on the road to defeat Campbell and Elon and extended their winning streak to 4 games. What has impressed you with the defending CAA champs?
Look, Drexel is playing really good basketball right now. They've won 9 of their last 10 games. But what I think is really exciting is they're not just relying on Amaris Baker to carry the offensive load right now. She is a special player. She leads the league in scoring. She had 33 against North Carolina A&T earlier this year, which has the best scoring defense in the league. But you have to have other consistent and reliable forces on your team. And Drexel is showing that they have that. Against Campbell, Kara McCormick had a career high 23 points, which is her second straight 20-point game. And Deja Evans had 15 points and was 1 rebound away from a double-double. And yes, Amaris Baker also finished with 13 to round out the double-digit performances, but then you're also getting a career high rebounding number of 12 from Chloe Hodges and also 7 points. And so I just think having all those different players stepping up is a really good sign for Drexel. They got off to a strong start in that game. In the first quarter, they led the way 21-13, and they shot the ball well the whole game, shooting around 48%, 50% from behind the three-point line. But maybe the most impressive thing about the Campbell win is they are the first team this season to defeat the Camels at home. Campbell now 11-1 at home. So kudos to the Dragons because they found a way to win at Campbell. Then the Dragons went on to play Elon, and they again had 3 players in double-digit scoring. Chloe Hodges was 7 of 8 from the field, 20 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. She was 2 assists away from a triple-double. And I thought that Deja Evans was fantastic with 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 blocked shots. What she brings on the defensive end of the floor is huge. She's had a block in 20 of 24 games this season. And don't forget the 9 blocks that she had against Temple, which is tied for a Drexel record. Kara McCormick, again, huge double digits, 11 points. Amaris Baker only had 7 points in that game. Up until that game, she had 16 straight double-digit performances. But when you are having other Dragons step up where they can reliably score, Drexel's looking poised to really challenge for that regular season crown and also to defend their CAA tournament championship.
Yeah, and Monika, you mentioned multiple players being able to score. Chloe Hodges named CAA Player of the Week this week, a different Drexel player getting that honor. And despite Drexel's hot streak, North Carolina A&T is still the team on top of the pack after a dominant road victory at William & Mary on Friday, followed by a 16-point victory over Delaware that ended the Blue Hens' 6-game winning streak. What do you like about the way the Aggies are continuing to play?
Yeah, they are absolutely continuing to impress. And if people watch the CAA Women's Basketball Insider, they probably know that I have a big heart for the defense. And we talk about this so much, but I think it's just so huge. We've already talked about it today. They lead the league in scoring defense. And when you are able to put together tough defensive performances, it makes you hard to beat. And this week, just a case in point, because you have William & Mary, who have averaged 65.9 points per game in league play. And North Carolina A&T held them to 44. Then you have Delaware, who've averaged 62.1 points per game in league play, and North Carolina A&T held them to 55. The defense is what is getting it done for them, but they can also score the basketball. They have that diversity on the offensive end of the floor, too. They have so many different players that can put up big numbers. When you don't just rely on one person, you can count on your offense to get things going. Another statistic that I think you really have to look at for North Carolina A&T is the scoring margin. And they lead the league in that as well. They have a scoring margin of 14.6. The next highest team is Charleston with a 10.3. So I think those are some of the biggest numbers that you have to look to for the Aggies to understand why they have been so dominating in league play so far. If you look at that contest against William and Mary, they had 5 players with 8 or more points. And against Delaware, where they had 4 players with 14 or more points. Now, I do have to shout out Shania Clark. I know we've talked about her a lot this season, but she had a game high 17 points and a game high 14 rebounds. Now, that is a double double. The Aggies are balanced, they're disciplined, they're experienced, they're mentally tough. And another thing against Delaware, they had 20 assisted baskets. Now, obviously, Monmouth and Campbell have found ways to beat them this season, but they are looking very, very tough right now.
They are looking tough and they're definitely playing team ball. Now, looking ahead, Monica, the one game that catches my eye this week is Charleston hosting Elon on Friday night. What have the Cougars done well in the last few weeks?
Yeah, so we've talked about the team with the best scoring defense in the league. So maybe it's time that we talk about the team with the best scoring offense in the league, which is, of course, the Charleston Cougars. Look, in league play, they've averaged around 68.5 points per game. They can just flat out score the basketball. They have 5 players that average around 8 or more points per game. And we know, and we've known this for a while now, that Taryn Barbeau is just a special player. And she has been a special player ever since she stepped foot on the Charleston campus. She had 25 against William and Mary, which was her 5th 20-plus point performance. And in the second quarter of that game alone, she had 16 points. She also finished with 8 rebounds. She is just a player that gets it done. That's why last week she was co-player of the week along with Chloe Hodges that you mentioned, Jamie. And it's not just Taryn Barbeau. Don't forget twin sister Taylor, who averages 11.8 points per game. She had 14 against William and Mary. Sophia Tugas, Laura Rokel, you can count on lots of different players to get this scoring done. And it's been a theme of today. It's been a theme of the past few weeks, because when you talk about how difficult it is to play in this league, you can't be reliant on just one player. And the teams that are finding that success, it comes down to having all of those offensive options. And so when I think about Charleston, and I think about the things that are working so well for them, the offense is at the top of the list for me, but I don't think that you can discount the fact that they lead the league in a lot of other important categories too. They lead the league in offensive rebounds. They lead the league in steals. They lead the league in turnover margin. So they take pride in so many of the things that they do. And that's why they've been so impressive. But I absolutely have that Elon game circled on my calendar. You know, Elon's looking to make some movement in terms of conference standings. They're tied with William and Mary and UNCW at 7-7. So I could not be more excited about that game.
Certainly, Monica, and Coach Robin Harmony has the Cougars looking good as we head towards March. But there, like you said, there are a lot of things about to happen as we head closer to the CAA tournament that is just a few weeks away. Monica, thanks again, as always, for your time, and we look forward to checking in next week. Fans, you can keep up to date on CAA women's basketball by following CAA basketball on X and CAA Sports on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Enjoy the games and see everyone next week.